The number of people living on the streets in the Bay Area is going up. A new count in Alameda County shows more than 5,600 people are homeless, and that's up about 40% from 2 years ago. The mayor of Oakland says that officials are trying to spend more money on programs and services for the homeless.
Meanwhile, joining us to talk more about this issue is Oakland City Councilwoman Rebecca Kaplan. I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Driving around West Oakland, it's almost like a journey into the third world these days.
Yes.
I mean, we have these homeless encampments out there. The tents are up. There's garbage piling up. There's been reports of fires. What's going on there?
It's an incredible and growing human tragedy. There have recently been allegations that there is arson going on, in which people may be intentionally setting fire to the encampments, as well as even before that, just the human suffering of more and more people living on the streets. And it is well past time for us to take action to give people a better place to be.
These encampments, they start out on the sidewalks, and then they move out. They're getting onto the streets now. And the city's solution so far has been to put barriers up to keep people from driving into them and put in some toilets and basically start looking for money. What's going on there?
Well, absolutely. People being out on the streets is a lose-lose, both for those people and for the broader community. And that's why I'm fighting for us to buy existing motels and SROs so the city can put people up immediately and get people off the streets. Just pushing them from one underpass to the next underpass doesn't accomplish anything, and that's been a repeated pattern.
You know, there is a cultural line that we crossed. I mean, the idea that we had homeless people, and a lot of times they were staying in hotels and going from one flop house to the other. And then we started seeing the tent phenomena. Once we allowed them to set up the tents on the streets and on the sidewalks, did we cross a line that just makes it more difficult to contain?
Well, we have seen huge growth in homelessness just in the past 2 years. And so the resources we have to take care of people in a better way have not kept up. And that's why I believe we can't just focus on long-term new construction. We have to buy existing SROs so we can put people up off the street so that the social workers have something more positive they can offer folks when they say to them, this underpass isn't the place to be, then being able to say, and here's where you can go, and get people into a better situation where they can turn their lives around.
But sometimes, even in Oakland, we had money in the past, for example, for cleanups. I remember it was just a couple of months ago, you were screaming at the administration, money for garbage trucks that had been set aside and you couldn't find the time or they couldn't get it together to buy the garbage trucks. We don't even have to have the garbage and the DPW and the police to get out there and clean it up like they're doing in San Francisco.
Well, they did finally buy that garbage truck that I fought for, but the problem is right now when they push people out of one encampment and clean that area, they don't have a place where they tell people to go, so they just move to the next freeway underpass or the next sidewalk, and so the resources for the cleaning can never keep up because we're never moving people to a better situation. It's just one sidewalk and then it's the next, and that's why I'm saying we have to actually designate places to send people.
Realistically, is this something Oakland can handle? I mean, you don't have a big social service network. Cities don't traditionally do that. It's the state and the counties that do that. And now it's on your doorstep. Do you even have it?
I don't think any of us could handle this alone. I believe that Oakland, working in partnership with Alameda County and with our nonprofit service providers and surrounding cities, can do this. That's why I was part of the county hearing where we asked the county to partner with us and they said yes. That's why we're looking, as historically was done in Oakland, city-county partnerships to fund these services. And that's been done for many years, that Oakland and Alameda County work together. It's just that we haven't grown the service in magnitude with the growing problem.
Do you have any idea what triggered it? I mean, this has been for a couple of years. What exploded? What in the last year, what happened that exploded?
Well, we've seen a huge rate of skyrocketing rents going on in which people are being pushed out of their homes, and that has caused more people to be out on the streets. Some of the encampments that were in less visible locations, those sites then got bulldozed for development, and so people moved to underpasses where they're more visible to the public. And in the recent homeless count, they said overwhelming majority of the people's reason for homelessness was not, as some suspect, mental illness, but rather money problems. And so people either losing a job or being evicted.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. And Rebecca Kaplan, councilwoman at large from Oakland, this is not an easy situation at all.